Hello everyone. I hope you guys are excited for today's session. I am Anuj Sharma from Hack to Skill, lead community and operations team. I'll be taking over today's session and along with that helping you start your own journey. But before we start the session, I want you guys to understand the agenda of today's session. Why are we doing this? Why did we collaborate with Techno India, NJR, and what's our vision behind it? So we all know, and if you don't, just Google it out. You will see RPA, robotic process automation, is one of the most upcoming technology, or in top three of the next technological boom. And we need to understand that we need to pace up with the upcoming technologies. So to clear out some myths and facts, to help you start your own journey, Hack to Skill and UiPath community together started this initiative called Robotic Process Automation Developer Camp, where we aim to help students start their own journey at RP and provide them all the resources, clear the myths and facts, and provide the support which they need at the initial stage. And to ensure that this happens, we collaborated with Techno India NJR. And thanks a lot to Yogendra sir. Let me just bring it up to the screen. Yes. Hello, Yogendra sir. How are you?
Hi. Hello, Anuj. How are you? Fine. So, good
Thanks
morning
a
to
lot, sir,
everyone.
for making this collaboration possible, sir, with the vision to upskill the students in the upcoming technology.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, as we already know that the Techno India NJR, we always strive to give the best opportunities to our students, and we want to make. See, our motto is to make our students industry ready. And to be industry ready, we need to pace up with the technological changes which are coming up in the industry. And day by day, we know that all new technologies are coming in the market. So we are already working in various fields like AI, deep learning, cloud, DevOps. We are already working in that. And this RPA, the robotic process automation. So thanks to the Hack to Skill and the UiPath community from which we are getting this support, and we are getting this kickstart boot camp for our students. So students, this boot camp is very good for you. See, the process automation is required nowadays in almost all the industries, and for that they need the very bulk of manpower, skilled manpower is required. So this boot camp is here for you, and Anuj is here with you. He is the lead. Let me introduce him to you. So he is the lead community and operations at Hack to Skill. Prior to that, he was a community manager at Savo Labs, and prior to that, he worked at the AR Creators. So he's very much experienced in all of these technologies, and I guess, and I hope all of you will take maximum advantage with him. So best of luck to all of you students for the boot camp, and Over to you, Anuj.
Thanks a lot, Yugendra sir, for the kind address to the students and generous welcome. So before we start, before I share my screen and start, there's one question already in the comment section, which is, sir, I want to start RPA. Do you have any courses in Hack to Skill? So just to clear out, Hack to Skill is the upskilling platform where we bridge the gap between the industries and the college students and the community. So we don't have any kind of courses, but we provide the resources of those number one companies in their respective fields. If you check out RPA, the number one company right now and the leading firm is UiPath. So we are here with the collaboration with UiPath community to provide the resources. So during this session, you will have a clear understanding how can you build your own first bot. So without wasting time, let me just share my screen and start. So I hope my screen is visible to everyone. Feel free to use the comment section. I will keep an eye out and check out for the questions. And let's start. So welcome today's session. We'll start with the introduction to RPA. Let me just move to the next slide. Now, what is RPA? This is one of the most basic questions which we have when we think of something new, right? What is RPA? What is AI when we think of AI? So I'll just read out the slide first. RPA is a technology that enables a software program to mimic human actions while interacting with computer applications to accomplish required tasks. So what does this mean? So basically this means that any kind of human action which is logical, which has a certain flow to it, which can be mimicked, is robotic process automation, which can be mimicked by the computer. So if you just go through the nomenclature, robotic process automation itself defines that there's a robot which is doing a process which is automatic or which it has done automatically. Now, here are some examples, quick examples of what kind of human actions they can do: keyboard inputs, mouse movements and clicks, reading computer screen. Now, this is just the start of it, just the tip of the iceberg of what RPA can do. If you have more questions, feel free to put it into the comment section and keeping an eye out in the comment section. So, if the questions are relevant to the slide which I am, I'll take it out directly, and if not, I'll take it out at the end of the session during the Q&A. I hope I'm clear till now. Just put out yes, no, anything on the chat so that I can confirm it out once. Now, continuing to what RPA is, uh, as you can see on your screen, that it can operate any application. By operate any application, what does it mean? So you need to do automation on certain software, certain processes, right? If I need to do data scrubbing, it needs the access and the ability to work on the browser. If I'm doing some kind of data sorting, if I'm doing some kind of data analysis, so it needs the access and a method to work on Google Sheets, Microsoft Excel, and same way other applications. So RPA works on other applications, structured reading and actioning data, as I was talking about data sorting, quick to implement and power to scale. Now, what does it mean by quick to implement and power to scale? So RPA is really one of the things which I like about RPA is that RPA is really flexible among the other applications and system requirements. So it can work with different plugins, different browsers, different applications, different APIs. It can be integrated with different APIs. Along with that, the the power or the mechanism to scale it up. By scale, I mean if you have to process 1 lakh data in 1 minute, you have one system to do it, right? But you need to process 10 lakh data at the same time within 1 minute. So the scaling of the bot, multiple devices, multiple bots doing the same thing for thousands and lakhs and crores of data, it's really easy to do. It doesn't take a lot of effort and a lot of time to do the scaling up of the project or the bot which we have made. And the next slide is my favorite because it clears out some myths and facts about RPA. What RPA is not. So RPA is not a walking and talking robot or a humanoid. Summing it up, it's not Robot 2.0 or AKHT. Uh, Warehouse robots, like the one which we have in Iron Man. I don't remember the name, Sleepy Fingers or Glitter Fingers. which helps Tony Stark make Mark One. Then we have human replacement. So these are the most basic myths which is there in the market. And when I started my RP journey when I was in my third year, eventually it was the same thing which I had in my mind: robotic process automation. It must be something around Arduinos, IoTs, and Raspberry Pis. That's the reason I did not opt the subject at that time. But when I attended a session, my friend forced me to attend, and I met Vibhosh Pastor from UiPath. So he gave me a quick gist of what RP is, and it seemed really interesting. So I started my journey there, and it was really fun. And I hope you guys will also be able to make your first automation soon. So it starts with some basic bots like WhatsApp automation, mail automation, data scrapping, and then it goes on to complex automation. Then comes the ML models, AI, actions, AI center. Then it goes on and on as you upskill. So the last myth which I was talking about was human replacement. So RPA will not replace humans. In fact, it will create more job opportunities. And one of the fun fact that in RPA, it doesn't. It's not necessary that you need to be RPA developer. You can be RP developer, you can be solution architect, you can business analyst, you can be RP project manager. There are n number of things which you can do. So even if you're non-tech, you're not a techie or you're from non-tech background, there's a lot of scope in the field of RPA. So do try it and explore all the options which we have. Now, what these robots can do? These have some not sample, simple processes which robots can do. And then when we go ahead and do complex automation, it increases the processes, it increases the steps, and then it makes complex automation. So I'll just take a pause here for 1 minute for you guys to read it out through. If you have any questions, drop it into the chat. So we have a question from Yash. So do we have to purchase equipment to dive into RPA? So UiPath Academy, I mean UiPath itself provides a lot of things. UiPath community provides support from the community, organize various sessions throughout the world, 24/7, 365 days. You will find some of the other session happening. UiPath Academy provides free resources to you which you can learn, which you can upskill, which you can use to make your own use cases. UiPath Forum helps you solve all your queries. There's a whole ecosystem of UiPath which I'll show you at the end. I guess everyone must be clear till here. Now the question comes: what are some basic use cases of RPA in the business? So I'll take a pause of 30 seconds here, and then we'll start. I'll quickly take a pause. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the comment section. As I'm taking a pause, I'll love to take some more questions here. Yes, Jeshwani, I hope I answered your question. Cool. I guess we should move. So here are some use cases of RPA in business. Now, what you need to understand that how scalable and implementable is RPA in different industries, right? So RPA can work throughout any kind of industry if there's a scope of automation. So you can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kind of industries right in front of you. I'll take quick small examples from each industry. So education is enrollment process, attendance robots, scheduling meetings, classroom and online learning, answering queries, library robots. So there are a number of processes which you can think of, which you can automate. I guess Sir will agree with me. There are many repetitive processes which can be automated. So in my university, when I was there, so roughly me and my friends who were into RPA automated more than 25 or 35. I don't remember the number exactly. 35 complex processes which used to take hours and hours on a regular basis to complete, and we brought down the time to 1 minute, 2 minutes. And this includes bots running in accounts department, examination cell, DPOs, admission office, admin department. So there are n number of processes. My bot itself is running in the accounts department, and it reduced the time from 12 hours to 1 minute 30 seconds roughly, which I can now bring down to eventually 45 or 50 seconds, but it's not needed. So coming to the supply chain, inventory management, invoice contract management. So there's a lot of inventory management, right? Just take an example of your hacker which you organize in your institutes. So for instance, you receive 20,000 goodies from different institutes, different companies as a sponsor, and now some people are taking out goodies to do the distribution. Some are taking for the promotions. Some are returning back the goodies which were pending. Managing that, you need a whole bot, a whole person, sitting up throughout the day, keeping a track of the inventory, checking all the numbers again and again. You can create a bot to do that. A person who just need to enter the details, what he is taking, he'll do the calculation automatically, what's spending, who took which goodies, and who the whole inventory would be managed. Now, thinking that is a large scale from a company's point of view, who is into supply chain, like transportation industry, Transport Corporation of India Limited, Safe Express, just look at that. Next comes the IT, server and app monitoring, routine maintenance and monitoring. So quick example is the server maintenance check. In some companies, it's 1 hour. Every 1 hour there's a server maintenance. Some company, it's every 6 hours. So eventually there are server checks happening during midnight, 12 a.m., 3 a.m., early morning, 6 a.m. And eventually, there's a person to keep a track of it if there's any issue going on, or there's some blunder happening in the server, or there's some error coming on. So you can create a bot which will do the server check and send a report to the concerned person. And if there's a error or a blunder happening on the servers, and a maintenance is needed, it will send an alert to the relevant team. So you don't need to be there throughout the day to keep a track on the server maintenance. HR, payroll, onboarding, offboarding. So the job of HR sometimes seems easy, that they just hire people to the team, employees, and that's it. They're done. But the process behind that and maintaining the whole documentation is really tough from HR's point of view. Reason being, you need to keep a track of the documents from the old firm where the person is joining, the documents of the current firm where he is joining. Along with that, all the payroll, certificates, diplomas, reimbursement processes, pending dues. There's a lot of things which happens during onboarding and offboarding. We need to understand that everything can be automated. So, for example, a HR receives 200 resumes for the position of community manager, and during this process, he or she needs to check all the 200 resumes. Even if we take 5 minutes, it's a lot of time, right? Going through all the resumes. So the best way which we have is to automate. So you build a bot, set up the constraints that on what basis the resume will be shortlisted. For instance, you can add a criteria called it. He or she must have previous experience of community, hackathon management, or organizing hackathons. It will be shortlisted. A person must have Python in the skill set. He or she will be shortlisted. Then, from depending upon the constant which you have set, from 200, 20 resumes will be shortlisted, 15 resumes will be shortlisted, and that's how it's going to go. And I know it seems that as it is supposed to happen, it might be in that zone, but it can happen, and it is happening right now. Next is client service. So I hope you guys have called customer service executives, some of the other day during the some time back, like around 4 or 5 years, and recently. So I'm not sure if you have observed or not. When we used to call customer service around 4 or 5 years back, so they used to type down everything we used to say, right? The number, the ID, the complaint which we received, tracking ID, whatever the details which we have. So they used to write it down, but now they don't. Right? There's a bot converting a speech into text and filling out the forms they have. You say, my name is Anuj, I have a complaint regarding order replacement. It will track it out and fill out the form for the concerned person. At the meantime, concerned person will check out the order details rather than typing in order details. The time of client service management also has reduced a lot in the last 4 to 5 years. As I was talking about accounts department, uh, data segregation and processing the data of 10,000 students, then eventually it's going to go to lakhs, and finding out the errors, finding out the glitches, missing amount. So when you are calculating the fees deposited by 50,000 students, 1 lakh students, eventually you're going to miss out a few lakhs. Not everything is perfect, right? So we created a board to do this. It was fun. First board was to find the missing amount, where the missing amount is. There's a calculation error. And then also a board to do the requirement which we receive from the accounts department. The same way accounts reports, accounts creation and updation, everything can be done through RPA. Operations, order creation, update, work order request. So I'll quickly take an example of a table here. You receive a request of making 20 tables. You need the manager. You go to your carpenter and inform him that you need to build 20 tables. Uh, the carpenter will get in touch with the inventory manager that for 20 tables I need n number of times, and then inventory manager will check the whole inventory and then go to his vendor and say that I need n number of things to process an order. It's a lengthy process, right? Getting all the approvals, cross verification, and everything. Now just imagine if you had a bot where you just enter the details that 20 tables of normal wood. Now it will process, check the inventory, inform the inventory manager that there's an order received and you need to get these things from the vendor. Inform the carpenter that you can start work for 10 chairs, the items for the rest 10 chairs will be delivered to you in next 2 days. Everything on just one click. This is the power of automation. This is the power of RPA. I hope I'm clear till here. If you guys have any questions, just drop it in. After this, just let me check. Yes, after this slide, we'll take a quick pause for the Q&A. What are the benefits of RPA? You guys must have understood till now itself that easier scaling is one, like reduced cost of execution, increased execution speed, or reducing the processing time, no mistakes, enhanced accuracy, regulatory compliances. Every time I get stuck at this word. So these are the benefits of RPA, which you guys must have already understood from the previous slides where I was explaining the use cases. So I'll quickly take a pause here, and if you guys have any questions, just drop it in the comment section. I'll take on some questions here, and then we'll proceed. What are RPA tools? So I'm not sure exactly what do you mean by what are RPA tools, but I guess if you're asking about the softwares where you build your own bots, Abhishek. So we have UiPath, we have other in the community, we have Blueprint, Automation Anywhere. There are a lot of tools in the market, but UiPath has a whole ecosystem. Why should we go with UiPath Studio? I'll show it to you in the upcoming slides. Do we have any more questions? It's 11:23. I'll take questions till 11:25 and then we'll proceed. I guess no one has any kind of questions. So am I clear? You can just write uh, hashtag RPA rocks, hashtag active skill rocks just to ensure that you guys are on track. We even created one bot by we, I mean me and my friend, just to check our attendance on the portal because logging into the portal was like around 5 steps and 5 layers. right? Logging in, going to a certain page, and again entering your semester, subject, and then checking your attendance. So we created a bot just to check our attendance also. We created a bot to book a ticket, which will eventually lead to the payment page and then stop because we need to enter the RPA I'm saying RPA details. We needed to drop in the details of the uh, payment mode, right? So I guess okay, everybody is saying RPA rocks. Cool. So I guess let's proceed with the chat. By chat, I mean let's proceed with the session. Just give me a second. I'm taking out few links which I want to share with you. Next, why you should go with RPA, why you should go with UiPath, what are the job opportunities. So next slide would be on those terms to show you the future of RPA in the industry. So here I'm gonna talk a bit, but I'll suggest you guys to read out everything. I'm sorry. Yeah. So this is through the resources and the research which has been done previously in the last 2 years. You can see the future of work report for 2020 WEF, grandviewsresearch.com. So these stats, these numbers which you are seeing are eventually from the proper research which has been taken in Blinken 2020 emerging job reports. So robotics engineering, RPA, the analyst part, solution architect, everything is going. And as you can see, the well-paying jobs is $114 per year. Now this is an insanely big amount, right? 40.6 CAGR, that's also a really big number. So this shows you an overview of the demand of RPA developers or RPA analysts, or just the growth opportunities in the domain of RPA, not putting out into any specific team or domain, but a generic RPA. Jobs available in the RPA industry by 2020, 2025, 2025. And I guess we have already crossed this benchmark. I'm not sure. I need to check it out. The above figures are from 2018 job report actually. But during the COVID, a lot of firms went to RPA as an option to cope up with the sudden demise of the team members and the shortage of people in the company, and eventually to manage the financials of the firm. So it has already outgrown a lot in the last couple of years. UiPath was voted as the number one on G2 for RPA and low code category. Now the focus on term low code, why we call low code, I'm going to show you in the next slide. Low code category in all four regions. You can check it out. I'll just take a quick pause here. Guys, keep the questions coming. I'll take it all together at the end, or I'll take one by one in the middle of the session. And as I was saying, UiPath is the number one firm right now in the domain of RPA, or the leading organization right now. So UiPath named a leader with the highest ranking in current offering strategies and RPA market presence in all the categories. I'll just take a quick pause here for you to look at it. Okay, I'm not able to zoom it out. I wanted to zoom in the image so you can see it more clearly, but I won't be able to do that. This is what we call UiPath Studio. So the people who have joined us here, many of you must be designers who use Photoshop, right? Many of us must be here video editors who use After Effects, Premiere Pro. I'm not sure if I'm getting software names wrong. I'm really sorry. I'm not a designer or editor, creator eventually, right? For developers and coders, you must use Visual Studio, PyCharm, right? So similarly, to develop RPA bots, we have UiPath Studio. Now, as you can see on the left side from the activity section, it is importing a action called double click. So almost everything is pre-programmed here, and you just need to know what are the things you need to pick and what are the things you need to drop. So that's how. That's why it's called low code. Why code if you're just clicking and dropping it? Because eventually when you go to the property section, when you develop complex pods, it go, you need to have ML packages. You need to have a basic understanding of the loops, variables. A basic concept of coding is needed here, but not the entire coding here. So as you can see, for each in the main section, read mails. After that, we have for each. Then we have the body. So you can understand that there's a whole flow which is being shown in the form of workflow rather than a code. So this is what we called UiPath Studio. Now, what are the types of bot? In normal scenario, there are four kinds of bot. One is no robot, 100% humans brainstorming with this team. One of the examples. Then we have attended in tandem, human on computer with robot presence in background. Then we have hybrid. Then we have fully unattended. Now, for example, human on computer with process running in background. HR examples are the best examples for this. Next is hybrid, attended process using humans computer to pick up unattended background process. So now I guess it clearly mentions an examples and it's clearly understandable also that service reps turns on a bot to delete customer data from multiple databases as a part of GDPR, right to forget request. Now, making it out simple. So eventually, you have a bot which creates accounts for multiple users according to the database which we have, and we are using the human's computer to kick off that unattended bot, which will simultaneously run while you are doing your. Then we have fully unattended one, 100% automation, like processing the invoice, inventory management, takes the load of data, put it into a sheet, send it across the mail, making it more simpler. Uh, like for the hybrid one, not for the hybrid one, fully unattended, you created a mail bot and a certificate bot, and eventually it attaches the certificate, it creates a certificate, it attaches the certificate to the mail, sends a mail to the concerned person that hi Anuj, hope you're doing well, thank you for attending XYZ, here is your certificate for this session. And then you're gonna send a text message. That's 100% automation, no need to interfere in any of these steps. So now, when someone asks, "Well, how many kinds of pods are there in RPA?" you need to say two, attended and unattended. Now, okay, UiPath Studio and plugins. So there are two kinds of studio which we have. One is UiPath Studio for developers, and one we have UiPath Studio for citizen developers. So by citizen developers, we need to say the non-techies, the non-coders, who don't want or who don't have the basic understanding of the coding concepts, right? So these are two kinds of studios which we have. Let me just drop in the uh, let me just drop in the resource to manage and download. So here's the link which I'm sharing in the comment section. You can use this link to check how to install and download Lens Studio. UiPath Studio. UiPath Academy. Let me just show you it directly on the UiPath Academy rather than showing it on as a slide. Let me just get let it's loading. Yes, I hope my screen is visible. It's loading. So yes. So taking a pause from here. That after the session, the call to action for everyone is to complete this course and get the diploma. Now, this is Introduction to RPA and Automation, one of the most fundamental and basic course. If you're starting a journey in RPA, initially you need to start it with this course. This will give you a clear understanding of what RPA exactly is and how can you start your journey. What are the technical terms which you will be needing in the upcoming future. So I am just sharing the uh, tick up for this bitly, you can have a look. Look at the bottom. You will have a clear understanding of the link which you have to go. It's already available on the dashboard also. So coming back, so let me go to the courses section. So in the courses, you can see everything is divided into small and big sessions, 20 minutes, 1.5 hour, 45 minutes. There are few courses of 9 hours also. With right now it's being distributed into multiple smaller concepts and specific one, similar to how to make a calculator, how to use for loops, how to use if else statements. So the best way to start is by RPS starter. If you want to explore by category, scroll down, go by roles. Automation developer, but let me just remove the filter first. Now you can see all roles, automation developer. So there are automation user, process analyst, and business analyst. Let's see business analyst. UiPath insights, how to do task mining, how to basic RPA fundamentals. So whenever there's a new course, is automatically updated in the UiPath Academy, and this happens on a regular basis. The best way to learn is do the RPA starter course and then do it according to the roles. This is for my preference, or you can go with the beginner difficulty level also. So there are 36 courses in the beginner, but to understand these terms, process mining, StudioX, citizen developers, automation operating model, you need to start with the RPA starter course, which we have here. So eventually, let me show you one more thing. After this session, you have to complete this course. After completing this course, there will be an option called download diploma. You need to download diploma. Let me show you how the diploma looks like. The diploma looks something like this. I did it last year. So this is my other ID, just in case if you're thinking why I don't have any other diploma. So this is my other ID, which only has this one, just to showcase how the whole process takes place. So after completing this session, you have to download this diploma and submit it onto a platform. I'm just opening up my platform also. So this is the dashboard which is available on your website. After registration, you will be redirected here. Let me just go back. So this is the main website where you have registered. Right, just click on this. Eventually it will come to your dashboard. Click on this link, you'll be redirected to the course. This submission has to be done here. uh, Upload your solution PDF. So wherever your PDF this, just upload it up. Put out a t-shirt size and click on submit. So when you click on submit, we'll receive the diploma, and eventually after that we'll do some sort of verification and validation on our side, and then we'll reach out to you for the next steps. Sending out the t-shirts to your college or sending out directly to you. So as I was talking about UiPath Academy, already shown you UiPath Forum, already explained community events. Let me just show you the UiPath community also. Just give me a second. I'm opening up the UiPath community. Yes, now you must be able to see the UiPath community. This is where everything is here, from academy to the events. You can connect to any chapter throughout the world. You can watch this session tomorrow in the Africa. You can load more, go to other countries, and be a part of some sort of survey. You can eventually join chapter also. By chapter, it means the community which we have in India. So we have let's do Asia Pacific. In Asia Pacific, we have in AP Telangana, Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi, Chandigarh, Kerala, Mumbai, Pune. So you can join any chapters. You can be a part of it. If you want to start, you can send the application to start a chapter also. I know this is a one session, but I tend to put it in like 40-45 minutes so that I can have some time for the Q&A part because that's my favorite part. So coming back to the presentation. So we have an understanding of academy, forum, and community. So yes, we are done with this session. I hope everything is clear to you now about what RPA is, what UiPath Academy is, what UiPath community is, how can you start a journey with RPA, what you have to do after the session, what are some myths and facts around this session. Now the panel is open for the questions. And yes, don't forget to join our Hack to Skill community. Just go to your dashboard, click on discussion zone, will be redirected to the link and just join our Discord. So in this community, we have a diversified, uh, you know, technological people who are here to learn from other experts, share their current knowledge, and be a part of the community. So the panel is open to questions now. I have an eye out for the comment section. If you have any, feel free to ask it right now. Hello, sir. I hope this session was helpful
Yes.
and clear for the students.
Yeah, so students, you already have received all the instructions for the uh, process, what process you have to follow for the assignment. And if you have any query, you can ask in the comment section. We are waiting for your queries.
Yes, and we will be sending you a mail which will have all the process and the next steps which you have to take care after this session. So no need to worry on that part. That if you missed out something, we'll be sending this YouTube video link as well.
Sure.
I guess it's clear to the students
Yeah.
as they don't
Yes.
have any questions.
Definitely. Yeah, Anup, so I guess there are no more queries from the student side, and if they have any query, they can ask later on, so I can connect them to you. So thank you,
Sure.
Anuj, for the session. Thank you, Hack to Skill, on behalf of Techno India Engines to Technology. I'd like to express my heartfelt thank to all the students and the trainers for the wonderful session. Thank you, Anuj, for the wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thanks a
much.
lot, sir. Thank you everyone for
Thank you.
joining in early morning. Have a good day ahead.
Have a good day. Thank you. Bye bye.